Okay, sir. Well, thank you for taking time to visit with me today.
I
Um,
appreciate it because I never told this story, my story, to anybody
yeah.
yet.
Well, why don't you start out by introducing yourself and telling us who you are and where you're from?
Kevin Patrick Paddleton, from Montana, born, but I was raised here in Oklahoma because I was adopted out during the 50s through that assimilation process with the Native Americans.
Hmm.
Out of Montana, I ended up in a Kiowa family here in Oklahoma, and that's why I'm here.
Wow. So, you're originally part Canadian, huh?
Yeah, I'm half Canadian. My mom's from Red Pheasant Reserve in Saskatchewan, Canada.
Wow. Well, uh, so when would you say was your first encounter that you had?
It had to be 65 or 66, 1965 or 66.
Where was that at?
Albion, Oklahoma, just about 3 miles south, right about a mile from the Kiamichi River.
That's just south of Tallahena, isn't it?
Yeah, about 9 miles.
Okay. And well, why don't you just walk us through that and tell us
Yeah,
what happened?
we'd always visit my grandfather's house, and that's the place I inherited. And he had a cow, and he had, livestock. He had a mule. Every morning at 5 a.m., we'd go out there and milk the cow every morning. Well, this one Saturday morning, we went out there and the mule was upset. I don't know what Pet was doing, but she wasn't that upset, but she was just eating in her stall. But we went out there to milk her, and then something, I don't know. I mean, Grandpa told me, wait here, there's something going on. And he had his kerosene lantern, and as he walked in there to where the stall was to milk her, there was a big crash.
Hmm.
Big crash. I mean, all I got to see of it was the back end of what I thought was a black bear going through the wall.
Through the wall of the
Through
barn?
the wall of the barn. Yes, he crashed through it
Hmm. And was it upright or
on all fours.
on all fours?
Yeah, and he was big.
Hmm.
His back was almost as big as Pet's back on all fours. And
And
she's the cow.
so whatever this thing was the size of a cow?
Mm, no, probably about half, 3/4 the size of Pet. From what I've seen of them tailing out of there.
That's still an awful huge. That's not a
Hey,
black
oh
bear.
boy. Now what I do know about Bigfoot and everything else like that, and what's going on down there and around Tallahena, Albion, down in McCurtain and
Hmm.
LaFleur and Pushmataha County, I know what that sucker was.
Hmm. So what do you think it was doing in there?
Getting milk.
Hmm. And that's not the first time I've heard of them doing that.
Yeah,
But I think it's pretty unusual for that to happen.
yeah.
What did your grandpa say about it?
He said, "Oh, that's just a bear. We just got to get out of here." Yeah, he let the cow and the mule out of the paddock.
Hmm.
Turned them loose.
Was this grandfather that you were going down there staying with? Was he indigenous or First Nations?
My grandfather was full blood Choctaw Indian,
So he knew.
and he also was the first full blooded Choctaw native Southern Baptist preacher in Oklahoma.
That's interesting.
Hmm.
So he was definitely aware
Oh,
of.
yeah, he's aware of it. Him and his brothers knew because he told me stories about him and his two brothers back in the day when they were building the Talamina Drive, which was an old Choctaw trail that they used coming up out of Mississippi
Hmm.
to get to Oklahoma. That's all that Talamina Drive is, an old Choctaw trail
Right.
to Mena, from Tallahassee to Mena, Arkansas.
Right.
And while they were building it, him and his brothers had to stay up and keep those boogers out of the damn camp. They
Really.
kept the fire going all night long. They take turns
Hmm.
building that damn road.
Any idea what year that might have been?
He was born in 1898, and it's got to be around 1918, 1920, somewhere 24, 25, somewhere in there, back a long time ago.
Well, it is
I don't
Highway
know.
1.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you got that? Yeah, it's one.
Yeah. So
But yeah.
his job was to kind of stand guard at night with the
Yeah,
construction crew.
part of his job was, yes.
Huh, that's interesting. And did he have any encounters with the boogers down there whenever?
All he told us was that they were panthers and they just kept the fire going to keep them out.
Hmm.
But being where they were at, they weren't panthers.
No.
And during that time, when there wasn't any people back there anymore, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, they ran a lot of the.
Yeah. What is that? McCurtain County Wildlife something other?
Yeah.
That's just north of there. That Weyerhaeuser or somebody has all that land in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of
A lot of timber in
Ouachita
there.
National
Yeah,
Forest
yeah,
and
a lot of timber in
McCurtain County, but I don't even think anybody's allowed into
there. No,
McCurtain County.
That's what they
That's
call it, X. What do they call that? That one place.
Area X.
Area X. Yeah, yeah.
Well, it is in that rough area.
In the area. Yeah,
Down there on Cucumber Creek, a little bit north of there.
yeah.
But yeah, that's so. How you were like 6 years old whenever that happened?
Yeah, my very first time, because back then at that age I didn't know anything about this subject,
Yeah.
But now, the age I'm at, and all the studying and researching that I've done, and the visuals I've had, I know what the heck that thing was.
Right. So what did the barn look like? Was there a big hole in it? What was it made out of?
It's made out of wood, and it had those like 1x12s for a wall.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, it was 10 walls. That's why he went through it so easily.
Oh. So it must have been a hell of a thing. So
Yeah, kind of.
where was your grandfather at when this thing? You were up at the house watching.
No, I was right behind him out going with him to milk the cow. I'd go with him to milk the cow.
Oh, so
And he was already up there getting ready to go into the stall, and I heard the commotion. So me, being a kid, was interested. So I was kind of, checking it out too. And all I got to see was the tail end of him going through the wall. He had his lantern like that.
how far away do you think you were from where that thing came through the wall when it happened?
I was probably about 25 feet. About 25, and
That
Grandpa
must
was
have
about
scared the
10,
crap
maybe
out
less
of
than that. He was right up there on him.
That must have scared the crap out of you guys.
We scared the crap out of both of us because, it took. Oh, man, we got out of there and we went and got the gun. But you know what? One thing I found out about those things, I don't think there's a gun big enough to drop them.
Right.
Be honest.
Yeah.
And I know one thing, too, that if you go out there looking for them, you ain't going to find them because they already know you're coming. And if you carry a firearm, they know that, too, and they're not going to show up. No.
You're not going to sneak up on
No,
us for
hell
sure.
no. I don't know what it is about these things, but I know from my own experience they're telepathic. They can read your mind before you even leave your house.
Well, tell us more about that. What makes you think that? More than just body language.
Oh yeah. Oh man, no. Body
Yeah.
language is completely out. You throw that away. This is all through your mind.
So, what are an example of when was a situation when you felt like you were getting some kind of reading from them?
That second encounter,
Well, tell us about that.
that second visual. Both my encounters. I'm Native American. I'm a sun dancer from up north in Montana, and both my encounters were during the Sundance, right on June solstice, the longest day of the year.
Right.
Both encounters were on that day,
Really?
14 years apart.
Okay.
But the second encounter, It was just like we just knew, and it was a he was on the side of the road and walked across.
Where was that at?
This was at People's Creek on Fort Belknap Indian Reservation in Montana on Highway 66. People's Creek. And that's way out in the middle of nowhere in the Grand Prairie. There was only one house by the creek. Only house for about 15, 20 miles.
What did he look like?
He was all black, and I thought it was somebody, dressed in black at night. What in the heck anybody going to be out here? It was like 1 o'clock in the morning because we had to go back to town to get supplies for the Sundance.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to town and got it, and we was coming back. And as we was coming up to the top of that hill that says Little Rocky Mountains straight ahead, that son of a gun was on the side of the road, and we seen him in our car lights. They say 3 steps across the road. This sucker took 2. He was across the road.
Did he even look at you?
He stopped by the road sign. He said 9'6". This sucker was a head and a half taller than that sign. Then he walked down the bar pit. The fences that are on the side of the road,
Yeah.
They're at least, 5 foot?
Yeah, 4 or 5, yeah.
He stepped over it like it was a log. Didn't miss a beat.
Was he, how close do you think you got to him?
Well, the road sign from where were you at? Probably 100 feet, 150 feet.
Any vocalizations?
No,
or anything?
no, but he's had green eyes.
Was it the eye shine or?
There ain't no eye shine on that thing.
Uh-huh.
No, our lights weren't. I mean, we was parked here, and the sign was right here,
Uh-huh.
and the lights, the car lights, kind of surrounds the area. We were scared, and we seen it, and he looked at us,
And he's
green
like,
eyes.
crazy.
Then he just turned and walked. He didn't run. He just walked. But hell.
Well, he wasn't scared of you.
No. But he floated like I don't know how they move, but they don't look like they're walking like humans.
Wow. So, did you get any kind of messages from him at that time?
Leave me alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't blame him.
Yeah. You see, I grew up down here in a Kiowa family, even though I'm not Kiowa.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since I was little, we'd go out to our aunt's house west of Anadarko.
Mm-hmm.
The mercury light out there at night, my aunts would always come out there and say, you got to stay inside that light because that hairy man with the basket on his back is going to get you, and he's going to eat you. And they called him Coatsapo. That's how you say Bigfoot in Kiowa. It's Coatsapo.
Coatsapo.
Coatsapo, yeah.
Wow.
And that's how you say it in Kiowa. But, I didn't know until I got older about, these Coatsapos and what they are. And I seen one out there too, but it was a good mile and a half out away from me.
Mm-hmm.
And all he was doing was it was all black. He was standing down there by the Washita River. And by a tree line. And just looking.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be telepathic because they know you're there before you even see them.
Right.
And when you make eye contact with them, they already got eye contact on you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's. I don't think any of us will
man,
ever
it's
sneak
a
up on
mystery.
them.
It's really a mystery that is.
Mm-hmm. You hear stories about
Yeah,
people
you hear all
sneaking
kinds
up
of
on
stories,
them,
and people
especially
wanna,
around rivers.
Yeah, people want to go out there and find them and look for them. They're crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, from what I see, I don't want to see another one. I had 2 of them, and I don't want to see another one. Hell no. But that curiosity that's inside you, and it draws you,
Mm-hmm.
and it pulls you to find out what is the truth.
Yeah.
Because
we're
I know
born with
right
that.
now, I'll tell you, if you took me over there to Stinchcombe,
Mm-hmm.
those boogers over there, they already know I'm coming. And they already know that you two are with me, and they're going to show you stuff. No, if I went by myself, they would.
So,
But
what do you think these Sasquatch people? What do you think they are? You,
I think there are higher level animals that has got the human DNA in there,
mm-hmm,
but they're not completely human.
mm-hmm,
But that's what freaks me out, is because when you first see one, you look them in the face and they look human, but they're not. You
mm,
know? Then you see the size of them, and they're a giant.
yeah,
And I mean,
yeah.
frozen in time with me, I couldn't move. In fact, I peed my pants.
Do you think they mean us any harm?
I don't think so. I really don't. Because from what I've been hearing growing up in the native family that I grew up in,
Mm-hmm.
that, I mean, these beings, they're real. And at one point in time, they were like allies to the natives.
I've heard that. I've heard they
And
trade medicine
we
too.
traded with them, and we helped each other. We
Mm-hmm.
got along. But once the Europeans came and started shooting them and killing them back east, no, everything changed. Everything. Everything. These Bigfoot, they're like caretakers.
Mm.
I mean, they were at one point allies to the natives. They even helped fight them, you know?
Mm.
But, I mean, it's still a mystery. Damn. Wow.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Nobody knows all the answers anymore.
No, nobody knows. And, then you got all these naysayers out there that are, every time you say anything about it, they, like, oh, you're crazy.
Yeah, I catch that too.
Yeah, But I know what I know, and I experienced it, and I was there, and I had multiple witnesses.
Right. Well, that's pretty fascinating, and I got to admit I really enjoy the story, and it makes you
Yeah.
wonder, with the barn and
Oh yeah.
how did I mean we kind of assumed that it was in there getting milk
Yeah.
from that cow.
Mm-hmm.
Was there? I mean, maybe there was some feed in there or something.
Yeah,
But
the
yeah,
grain.
yeah, the
Yeah,
granary in
because
there.
I mean, I was going to tell you about that, the other part of my story.
Oh, okay.
When I was little, like 7 and everything, when I first started going down to Albion and Tallahassee, well, we owned land out here west of Anadarko, and we had horses. And we didn't have a barn. We had a dadgum cellar with no door, but we put our feed down inside that cellar.
Mm-hmm.
Feed the horses, and we had our corral around the cellar. Anyway, we put a 50-gallon, barrel full of omeline in there. Omeline and oats.
Hmm.
Half a week, and that damn thing would be halfway gone. And Dad used to get mad at us, thinking that us boys were overfeeding the horses.
Mm-hmm.
We wasn't overfeeding the horses, because we had sticks and rocks thrown at us at night when we would feed the horses, and the horses would not come up to feed.
The horses probably weren't getting fed good.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
what we're going to find out. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's kind of amazing some of the differences in the
Yeah.
beliefs, especially about the Sasquatch people
Oh
between
yeah.
the differing tribes. It's kind of
What I
it's
was told
interesting.
about them growing up
Mm-hmm.
is they're real, and to leave them alone. Don't bother them.
Mm-hmm.
And if they want you to see them, they'll let you. And it's for a reason. There's a message in there from them to you that only you will know. That's why he shows himself to you.